YouTube family, my name is Elysia English and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is titled Starting from Scratch, and you might be wondering, what on earth is she starting from scratch? We just relocated from one province to another province, and we only brought with us to this $18.99 abandoned home we're renovating about 12 Rubbermaid bins and a few of the kids' belongings. And that meant that I had to leave all of my items that I've used previously for craft shows, extra supplies, a lot of upcycled materials that I had stored away for a rainy day aside back in Ontario. And I relocated them to homes that I knew would use them. And so that means that here in Nova Scotia, I actually have zero materials to be able to start to prepare for a craft show that I decided to sign up for in my new local area. I thought it would be so fun to just get into my community and do a show. And it's one of the things I thought that I would miss doing, going from Ontario to Nova Scotia. I just didn't know if it would be offered here. And so I was really excited when a few of my friends here tagged me and said, hey, there's this show going on, I think you should do it. And so that's what I'm gonna do. And so if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I love to be able to reuse and recycle and just upcycle basically anything I can get my hands on. And because I've never been in this show before, I want to kind of do something different and plan my show in a completely different way than I've done before and just really show my creativity. So my goal for this show is to use as much of completely upcycled materials as I possibly can to create my entire inventory. So today I did a little prep this morning to get ready on my first few items, and I did a little one last night just for fun to show you. And I'm gonna get started on my preparing for this show coming up. So I'm gonna bring you along. So I've decided that because I'm in Nova Scotia now, I thought that it would be a really cute idea to do a coastal theme for my entire inventory that will be on my table. And usually in the past, I've had a really large spot, like either two 8-foot long tables or even a 10-foot by 10-foot little room in a really large show. And so with this space, I'm gonna be limited to just an 8-foot table, which is really going to challenge my designing on how I'm going to set things up and the inventory that I can take. I usually like to take some bigs and some smalls, and so this is really gonna challenge my idea on just being able to make the space look amazing in such a small spot. But last night, since we've been sitting here relaxing and watching our newborn puppies that arrived this week.
Which one is puppy?
Yeah, you can touch.
If she tells you no, you just listen to her words, okay?
She did so good, Jason. Good girl, Nova. Good girl. Good girl. I love how they just stand on each other like they no care. Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
I just kind of was tinkering with some supplies while I was puppy sitting and making sure everyone was good. And I came up with a few of my first things that I'm gonna take to the show. I just wanted to look at the supplies that I had here that were upcycled or pieces I had taken off of something else and just kind of came up with something. And so I've decided for the theme for this show that I'm going to do Gone Coastal for Christmas, kind of like Crazy for Christmas. I thought it was super cute. So let me know in the comment section if you like that or not. So I'm going to base the majority of the items that are on my table around something kind of East Coast vibe, just really go with that nautical Christmas that I'm kind of looking for my table. So I decided that what's more nautical than going fishing. And so I thought, since I had so much fun making my ornaments on my previous year craft shows and they did so well at my show, that I would kind of just go with my first creative idea, which was to make a gone fishing ornament. And so I made these really cute kind of fishing bauble ornaments here. You can see they say gone fishing on them right there, and I did a little fish and a little clip. And so what I did was a couple of weeks ago, I actually purchased a whole sleeve of, I think there were 12 of these kind of really inexpensive, really glittery, outdated looking Christmas balls. And I bought 12 of them in a pack for only 10 cents at a little secondhand store just down the way from me. And so I thought they were a little bit on the smaller side. And so I thought I can totally revamp these and do these in a different way. And so I've been able to turn these outdated Christmas balls into one of these really cute gone fishing. So you can see they really got an update. And now they don't just look like a painted traditional Christmas ball, but they look really custom. And these are now a really, really cute gift. Not to mention, buying 12 of these for 10 cents, I can now make a pretty good profit on some ornaments, even if I sold these for only $5, which is a great price for ornaments. And so what I did was I took my hot glue and a bunch of this sort of nautical rope I had left that came with some packaging. I always make sure to save this and put it into a baggie if you get like a ribbon around a bed set or something like a string or a ribbon like this on something. And I took my hot glue gun and I just remove this top little clip here that your ornament hanger goes on. And I started just basically upholstering and wrapping the ornament all the way around, which gave me this really cute white fiber look. And then I took a makeup sponge and some white paint and I went around the bottom, and it was really easy to follow in a straight line because the lines of the rope actually gave that for me. And then I thought, well, how am I gonna put words on this, like gone fishing? And I tried something that I hadn't done before and it worked. I took some of my little just dollar store stamps here, and of course I have the whole alphabet, and just a Craftsman pigment stamp. And then I just took the words and the letters for gone fishing and I stamped them onto the rope, and it worked. I couldn't believe it because I thought for sure with the ribbing of the ornament that it was gonna not work that well. But what I did was, where it kind of rolled on the rope, I took a little bit of a Sharpie marker and just filled in the letters in the middle just to give them a little bit more dimension. And it really looks really cute and the words are really legible. So then what I thought was, well, I want to kind of put a little fish and maybe even a little fishing hook, but because this could be a gift for a child, I didn't want to actually have a fishing hook on someone's Christmas tree. And so I had these really cute little spinners that you would put on your fishing line. I'll try to show you what they look like. Just these little black spinners. And so I tied a fishing line to one end to attach it to the ornament, and then actually did another one and just made a cute little felt fish. And I just added the detail of a little embroidery floss eye just to give it a little bit of character. But all in all, I think they look super cute. And then I just hot glued back on the ornament hanging clip that was at the top that I had removed here prior to putting the rope on. And then just use a different color jute rope here to be able to put a little hanger on it. But I thought they were so cute. So I did those ones off camera, but they turned out so cute and I wanted to show you. But I've made 4 of these, so I now have my 4 first ornaments ready. And today I want to tackle using some scrap wood that I had left over from making a 3-tiered plant stand that you've seen previously on my channel. But doing that, I had a lot of scrap and I thought, well, it just really can't go to waste. So I came up with some ideas that I can use to actually use up that wood. So I'm gonna head outside right now and do a bunch of cuts, and then I get to use my favorite tool in my shop, which I always get a lot of questions from you guys about, is my scroll saw. My scroll saw is actually Philip's grandfather, who's passed years ago, and I was lucky enough to be gifted the scroll saw by Philip's mom, who didn't use it that much, and it has become my absolute favorite tool that I have to create anything, and the possibilities are endless. So if you're looking at investing in something to do really creative projects, it is something that has a bit of a learning curve, but once I got started, I can't put this tool down. So take a look on your marketplace and see if you can find a scroll saw, because they're so much fun. And they're a great way to use up small pieces of scrap wood if you have them. So these are the scrap 1x3s that I had left over from making that 3-tiered plant stand. And I have quite a few of these, and you can see they're all cut just a little bit different shapes. So these are just scrap that were left over. And I went to my cut machine this morning and I created a stencil of this seahorse. So this first project, I'm going to make a shiplap seahorse, and I'm going to do it in these beautiful rustic kind of coastal colors and really distress it to do this little wall decor. And so I'm going to take it off of the vinyl and transfer it onto these 1x3s that I have all pushed up together here to be able to draw the lines that I need to be able to scroll saw cut out this wood shape. So I have the shape of my seahorse all drawn out, and I'm able to use that piece of vinyl again to be able to use it to trace another seahorse, which is great because I can make multiple of these if I want to. So now I'm going to take this to my scroll saw, and I'm going to cut out each of these individual pieces, and then I can put it back together like a puzzle once I've painted each of the slats. My shiplap seahorse is all cut out and it needs a really good sanding now, and then I can start adding the color. So because I've never attended this show before, I don't know how many attendees to expect. You can always go by what the host tells you. And so I know that this show is going to be much smaller than ones I've participated before in Ontario, where I, for example, had that 10 by 10 space. So when I did that show in Ontario and Mom and I did it together, it cost us about $1,000 to go for the weekend. And so that's quite pricey, but I did know that the attendance on that show was going to be 20 to 30,000 people. And so we really were disappointed actually with how many people actually came to the event. Weather plays a tool in that. There's so many factors to put in. So just because the show had a lot of numbers the previous year doesn't necessarily mean that there'll be low numbers this year, or vice versa. Last year could be a complete flop for a show, and then this year the weather's great and it's the perfect time of year and a lot of people come out. And so I don't want to invest too much money in inventory on this show because I haven't been before. So I don't know how much money to expect that I would make at that show. You can always set a goal for yourself to see how much you might want to bring home and how much versus how much you spent to prepare for the show. And so for me, because I've not been there, I want to go and not really have any exact goal in mind as to how much I want to make. I just want to go and have a good day and be in my local community and meet some new people. And of course, sell some wares if that's in the cards for me for that show. So what I'm doing is I'm using as many upcycled materials as I can and trying to invest the smallest possible amount for me to actually go to the show. And luckily for me, the cost to get into the show is only $10. And so I'm not overly concerned that I'm going to spend more in inventory than I am to actually go for the. But I'm working really hard to be able to create some really unique inventory to take with me, things that people in this area maybe have never seen, and really show my skills. For example, things like using a scroll saw and doing a lot of custom painting. And since I'm new, it's really neat to be able to go and actually see what the other vendors are going to have and bring in. And because you know, before shows start, you always go around and do a sneak peek and see what everyone else has brought to show their creativity as well. Now that my seahorse is all dry, I'm going to sand it and give it a really distressed look before I glue it together. And to do that, I'm just using some 220 grit sandpaper. And I've actually recycled this. It's just kind of already scraped out from a previous project, but it's perfect because I don't want to take off too much of the color.
Just need some time. At your own pace, you need to find your way. I know now you'll never change your mind.
I now have my seahorse all distressed and it's sanded really smooth, and I want to glue it together using wood glue. And so I'm going to use the back of the vinyl piece that I was using to kind of work like a parchment paper so that in the end my wood glue doesn't get stuck to the cardboard or anything. And I'm putting it on a cardboard box here so that I can relocate this, let it dry overnight, and then be able to still use my art table here. So I'm going to keep transferring each piece from here and gluing in between all of the seams here, lining them all up nice and tight, and then just leaving them overnight. And the key here is to not fuss with it and let the wood glue cure overnight.
But what do you want? What's your biggest need? Every hour we spend together, and suddenly the chances are small, just like.
So the next project I want to make is a welcome sign. And you know I love puns if you've been following my channel, and I thought that instead of a sign saying welcome, that a more nautical vibe would be one that says welcome. And so I used my cut machine to be able to create this whale shape. And I'm going to make 2 of these in 2 different color schemes because I love having options on some of the pieces that I really want to take with me. And so this is going to be a scroll saw cutout whale, and it's going to have the words welcome, which I've actually formed into the shape of the whale. So the letters here go from a wider whale, and then it goes down to the word come. So it says whale come, and it goes smaller here, which I'm going to put on once this is cut out and painted. So I'm going to trace 2 of these. And because I'm going to be working with the scroll saw, I have some smaller whale shapes I also want to cut out for some ornaments. So I'm going to trace those all on at the same time.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars. Maybe the birds will sing about your heart. Maybe the trees will whisper the word. Maybe the sun will spread your joy to the ones who lost their hope. You fill my head with roses. I can't help but dream away. Standing on a field with you and flowers everywhere. Maybe there is a star with your name. One thing I know is that there should be. There is no one who has a heart as pure, no, not like yours. Dreaming of you. 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 I'm dreaming of you. What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars.
So right now I just painted on a few little fins on the side of each of the whales, and I just did a complementary color to what the actual whale was, contrasting rather, so that they didn't look exactly the same. And then I've selected some little eyes here, so you can see I'm gonna put the eyes a little bit further back, kind of like a whale. I think they look really folk arty, and I think they're gonna be really cute. So next I need to glue on the eyes and put a little eye hook on here so that I could put a ribbon or a jute or something. So I think I'm gonna use a bit of a nautical jute and then string them up so they can hang like ornaments. stencil all ready and it says welcome. And so what I'm gonna do now is transfer the letters onto the fronts of both of these whales. I've printed 2 out. Because it's lettering, it's a lot harder to transfer and use this again. And so I'm just really careful to really condense my lettering so that I'm not wasting any vinyl or any plastic that I don't need to. And so unfortunately, that's just the material that it comes in, but this is the best way for me to be able to reuse the scrap wood and turn it into something else. And so I'm going to transfer it on now and then just use a makeup sponge and some paint to sponge it on. You can probably tell by the lighting that it's now getting late in the evening. I've been working on and off today on getting my first Gone Coastal for Christmas ornaments ready. And I think that I'm pretty happy with the way that I was able to turn basically nothing into a bunch of items for my table for this craft market. So I think all in all, I used about 12 beads out of a pack that was only $1.25, and I used a couple of eye hooks, some scrap wood, some paint that I always have laying around, and some leftover jute and things that I had salvaged from packaging and things like that. And I did use about 10 cents worth of ornaments. I only used 4 of them, so I still have another, I believe there was 12 in the package, so I still have 8 left to use of that. And so I really didn't spend any money at all, and I always have a little bit of vinyl on hand. And because I buy contact paper, it's really inexpensive for me to be able to use it. And so really for no cost at all, I was able to make quite a few items. So I want to show you the completed items that I made for today. And my head is now spinning as I've been going through my art room today looking for a few things to be able to put together for my next items. And so I have so many ideas. I hope I have enough time to make everything. It's a little bit intimidating when you start from scratch when you're doing a craft show, especially when I had to leave all of my goodies and supplies back behind in Ontario. But I'm excited about this upcoming show. I want to know what you think of the items that I made today, so be sure to use the comment section. Okay, so here are my welcome signs, and I absolutely love them. I do have, this one here is more of like a navy dark gray, which I think will match pretty much anyone's decor, and then this one is a soft gray blue. I love that it says welcome because I absolutely love puns, and so it's just really cute. And these are gonna have little hooks on the back, the little alligator zigzag hooks that could be hung or even just displayed leaning on a shelf. And then, of course, at the beginning of the video, I showed you that I had made these Gone Fishing ornaments, and those are what I had made out of those 10 or 12 ornaments that came at the secondhand store in my local area. So that's a huge change from just those basic gold ornaments. And then I absolutely love how these little whale ornaments turned out. I think they look folk art. They definitely look like they're made out of scrap wood. And I just absolutely love the different textures of the nautical rope that I used, and then like a braided jute. So cute. I did the little gold accents instead of silver. I just thought I'd glam them up a little bit. I think they're adorable, and I think I'm probably gonna make a few more. And then here is my shiplap seahorse. Absolutely love the way that it turned out and how the color is all distressed. And this is gonna sit now overnight because I really can't hold it and hang it up until, like, to really get a good look at it until it's been sitting overnight. But I've got sort of the corals and teals and blues. I think it's just absolutely stunning. I can imagine it kind of propped into a basket with some towels or something in a coastal bathroom. But overall, absolutely love the thing. So let me know in the comment section which was your favorite, and if you have any ideas for me that you think are must-haves that I need to make for my show. So it's the next morning, and I wanted to show you, now that I have some better light, what my welcome signs look like. They look so cute. I'm gonna put some clear wax on them now that they've dried overnight. And I'm going to also do the same thing with a little bit of a clear coat, just a spray clear coat, a matte coating on these really cute little whale ornaments. I think they're so cute. And I do like how I left the wood on this side because they just really look really natural that way. And then my seahorse is all glued together. It looks so cute, and I can put my little bracket on the back now. And I love the way the colors turned out. So again, I'm going to rub a little bit of a clear wax all over this. That way, if someone puts it in a bathroom or needs to dust it later, it has a really nice clear coat on it. So far, that's a really good head start to my craft show. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.